Darlings, gather close because we need to talk about Tina Brown and her never-ending Meghan Markle grievance. But before we dive into why Tina Brown's criticism is about as fresh as a month-old scone, don't forget to show some love by hitting that super thanks button. Your support keeps the tea hot and the shade even hotter. Now let's get into it. Tina Brown, the doyenne of royal dish, the queen of the quill, has spoken. Known for her sharp insights and unparalleled access to the inner workings of the royal family, Tina Brown's words carry weight. Her latest commentary has certainly set tongues wagging and ears perking up. And what, pray tell, has sent tremors through the hallowed halls of Buckingham Palace? What could possibly have stirred the pot in such a grand and storied institution? Why, it's our very own Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, and her new television venture. This latest project of hers has been the talk of the town, sparking debates and discussions across the media landscape. According to Miss Brown, the show smacks of inauthenticity. She suggests that it lacks the genuine touch that viewers crave, a bold statement considering Meghan's own experiences and background. A curious critique, wouldn't you say? It raises questions about the nature of authenticity in media and the expectations placed upon public figures, especially when one considers the subject matter at hand, the British monarchy, an institution built on centuries of tradition, decorum and, dare we say it, a certain carefully curated public image. The royal family has always been under the microscope, their every move analysed and scrutinised. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, shall we? There's much more to unpack here, and the story is far from over. After all, a good story, much like a fine cuppa, is best savoured slowly. So let's take our time, sip by sip, and delve deeper into the fascinating world of royalty, media, and the ever-evolving narrative that surrounds them. Tina Brown, it seems, has a rather complicated relationship with the House of Windsor. On one hand, she's penned numerous articles and books dissecting their every move, their every triumph, and their every tribulation. On the other, she's quick to point out what she perceives as their flaws, their missteps, and their deviations from the royal script. This brings us to her rather interesting take on Meghan. You see, Miss Brown seems to hold a rather contradictory view of the royal family. She both reveres their tradition and relishes in exposing their flaws. She's enamoured by the fairy tale, yet ready to pounce on any crack in the facade. It's all terribly fascinating, isn't it? Now, about this show of Meghan's, Tina Brown finds it, how shall we say, a tad contrived. Not a surprising critique, perhaps, given the entertainment industry's penchant for, shall we say, embellishment. But here's the thing. Isn't the very notion of royalty a tad well contrived? The pomp, the ceremony, the carefully orchestrated public appearances, it's all a grand performance, is it not? A meticulously crafted narrative designed to project an image of power, prestige, and yes, authenticity. So, one might ask, is Miss Brown suggesting that Meghan is simply playing the game by the rules she's been given? Let's address the elephant in the room, shall we? The metaphorical elephant that has been the subject of countless discussions, debates, and even controversies. Or rather, the Duchess in the room. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, has been a figure of fascination and scrutiny ever since she stepped into the royal spotlight. Meghan's arrival on the royal scene was met with a mixture of excitement and, if we're being honest, a certain amount of trepidation. The public and media alike were eager to see how she would fit into the royal mould. Here was a woman of colour, an American, an actress no less, marrying into one of the oldest, most tradition-bound institutions in the world. It was a union that promised to bring fresh perspectives and new energy to the monarchy. And some, it seems, weren't quite sure what to make of it all. The reactions were as varied as they were vocal, with some embracing the change and others expressing scepticism. One can't help but wonder if Miss Brown's critique of Meghan's inauthenticity is entirely devoid of any unconscious bias. After all, the scrutiny Meghan faced was often tinged with undertones that went beyond mere royal protocol. After all, Meghan represents a departure from the norm, a challenge to the status quo. Her modern approach and willingness to break from tradition have both inspired and unsettled many. And sometimes change can be rather unsettling, can't it? The royal family, much like any institution, finds itself at a crossroads. balancing the weight of tradition with the winds of change. Meghan's journey is a testament to the complexities of this balance. Section 5. Finding freedom across the pond. But let's not dwell on the negative, shall we? After all, Meghan seems to be doing rather well for herself since stepping back from her royal duties. She's living in California with her husband and children, pursuing her own projects, and using her platform to speak out about issues she cares about. And isn't that what truly matters? Finding happiness and fulfillment on one's own terms. One can't help but sense a touch of envy in Miss Brown's words, a hint of resentment perhaps at Meghan's newfound freedom and success. After all, it's not every day that a royal breaks free from the gilded cage, is it? Section 6. The Cambridges and the Sussexes. A study in contrasts. In the grand tapestry of the British monarchy, two couples stand out, each representing a different vision of royal life. Meanwhile, back in the UK, the House of Windsor soldiers on, maintaining its centuries-old traditions and upholding the values that have defined it for generations. William and Kate, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, are the picture of royal decorum, diligently carrying out their duties and producing heirs at a rate that would make Queen Victoria proud. Their life is a blend of public service and family, a balance that seems almost effortless. They are, by all accounts, the perfect royal couple. Their every move is scrutinised, yet they manage to maintain an image of grace and stability, embodying the very essence of what it means to be royal. But one can't help but notice the stark contrast between their lives and that of the Sussexes. Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, have chosen a different path, one that often puts them at odds with the traditional expectations of the monarchy. While William and Kate are bound by duty and tradition, Meghan and Harry seem to be forging their own path, embracing a more modern, more relatable approach to royalty. They have stepped back from their official duties, seeking to carve out a new role that aligns with their personal values and aspirations. And perhaps that's what truly rankles Miss Brown. The fact that Meghan has dared to break the mould, to rewrite the rules of the game. In doing so, she has challenged the very foundations of what it means to be a royal in the 21st century, sparking both admiration and controversy. Section 7. Beyond the glitz and glamour. But let's be honest, shall we? The British monarchy is facing far bigger challenges than Meghan Markle's television career. From questions about its relevance in the 21st century to concerns about its financial transparency, the institution is at a crossroads. Focusing on Meghan's inauthenticity feels a bit like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, doesn't it? While the ship is slowly sinking, we're busy debating the merits of a duchess's television show. Perhaps it's time we shifted our attention to the real issues at hand. Section 8. A toast to Meghan. So, here's to Meghan. May her television shows be as authentic or inauthentic as she pleases. May she continue to use her platform to speak her truth and champion the causes she believes in. And may we, the viewing public, have the good sense to see beyond the headlines, the gossip and the endless speculation. After all, there are far more important things to worry about than whether or not a duchess is being authentic. Now, if you'll excuse me, I believe I have a cuppa waiting.